Welcome everyone. I am Berta McKelly Adams.
And I'm Paul Bridgewater, and this is the Year in Review, a production of the Department of Information and Public Relations as we highlight the policies and programs implemented by the government of the Virgin Islands in 2025.
Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, in his 2025 budget address delivered under the theme Laying the Blocks of Success, said his government made tangible progress in strengthening and diversifying the Virgin Islands economy.
This included bolstering its vital tourism sector and advancing its financial services, empowering its youth through innovation and technology-driven learning, ensuring a healthy population and supporting its most vulnerable, fostering crucial international relationships and partnerships, and developing essential infrastructure that underpins the society.
In January, the government advanced its embarkation-disembarkation card process with the implementation of its online ED card system. The new system was expected to simultaneously improve and enhance the department's data collection capabilities that will later be utilized to support border security initiatives and new tourism policies. Restorative work and the public picnic area of the Long Bay Beef Island Beach commenced as part of the Operation Restoration Project. The project was a collaboration between the Government of the Virgin Islands and a grant funding from Unite BVI. Customers of the Water and Sewage Department welcomed the news that they would be able to pay their bills online following the launch of the department's online payment portal. The Virgin Islands became the second overseas territory to launch a care certificate program in an effort to improve and standardize healthcare services among regulated healthcare professionals. The standards that were imparted included duty of care, safeguarding children and adults, awareness of mental health and disabilities, to infection prevention and control.
The month of February was very significant with the introduction of revised financial sanction guidelines that reinforce the territory's commitment to upholding international sanctions and strengthening compliance measures. The guidelines were issued under the authority of the Governor of the Virgin Islands, His Excellency Daniel Prus. The guidelines were officially published on the 31st of December 2024. The Government of the Virgin Islands launched its 2025 Medium-Term Development Strategy to guide the territory's growth and development for the next 3 years, in alignment with the National Sustainable Development Plan. This alignment ensures the Virgin Islands' fiscal policies, capital projects, development initiatives support not only immediate sustainability but also long-term prosperity of the territory. Work commenced on Phase 2 of the Cane Garden Bay Sewage Network project, which included the installation of approximately 4,500 linear feet of gravity main sewer lines and pumping mains. The construction of a new pump station directly adjacent to the new wastewater treatment plant, along with 3 smaller pump stations and 2 lift stations. The government also reiterated its commitment to revolutionize the territory's energy landscape and invested $1 million into STEP, which is Solar Technology and Energy Program. Through this initiative, high-quality solar panels and an inverter were installed at the property of selected customers.
The leaders of the governments of the British and U.S. Virgin Islands met in March to discuss the economic impact of the proposed fee structure to the Commercial Recreational Vessel Licensing Act. The meeting marked an important step toward deepening economic cooperation between the two territories. The official implementation of the report to guide the proper and lawful exercise of discretionary powers was launched. The guide approved by Cabinet in 2024 is an initiative designed to strengthen the governance, transparency, and accountability throughout the territory. A contract was signed for the processing and transportation of derelict vehicles from the temporary vehicle site in Havers. The contract was part of the Government of the Virgin Islands' ongoing commitment to sustainable waste management, public health, and environmental safety. The Ponce Health Sciences University (PHSU) School of Medicine in the Virgin Islands was officially opened as the government seeks to foster partnership that will strengthen medical education research and patient care.
Senior officials from the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports of the Virgin Islands participated in an educational exchange and policy visit to the Cayman Islands in April. The delegation was led by Minister the Honorable Shari Castro, who said there were strategic meetings with senior officials from the Cayman Islands Ministry of Education and visits to schools to observe innovative learning environments, school maintenance systems, and inclusive practices in action. The government of the Virgin Islands published its National Strategic AML CFT CPF Action Plan Roadmap to enhance the territory's resilience against money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing threats. The plan is structured around key strategic objectives, including strengthening legislative reforms and advancing regulatory and law enforcement capabilities. The government of the Virgin Islands published its inaugural National Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing, and Proliferation Financing Risk Assessment of Legal Persons and Legal Arrangements, reaffirming the territory's commitment to global standards on transparency, beneficial ownership, and the prevention of financial crime.
The government of the Virgin Islands reiterated its commitment to environmental sustainability by advancing several initiatives in May. These include the Blue Economy Roadmap, expanding of recycling and waste management programs, strengthening marine conservation efforts, introducing Crown lands management legislation. In a significant step toward addressing the long-standing water access challenges for local farmers at Paraquita Bay and strengthening the Virgin Islands food security, a contract was signed in May for consultancy services for engineering, design, and construction management of water mains and civil works for the Farmers Reservoir. Government also upgraded its high creditworthiness ratings of CARIA, foreign and local currency, and the Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services Limited, CARICRIS, regional scale. The notched up regional scale ratings indicated that the Virgin Islands was adjudged at a higher level of creditworthiness compared to its regional counterparts. CARICRIS has also continued to assign a stable outlook on their ratings. The Ministry of Health and Social Development announced that several community centers across the territory were opened and available for the public's use. They included the Long Trench Community Center, Emile Dunlop Community Center, and the Christiana Gertrude Warner Community Center in Purcell Estate.
Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Dr. Natalia Wheatley, said in June that his government had finalized a 5-year strategic staffing plan that will add over 80 vital positions across the territory's school and strengthen support, accountability, and student success. The Premier added that safety enhancements and the installation of new security systems were also planned to ensure learning environments remain secure, resilient, and conducive to 21st century learning. The first BVI CARE certificate program graduated 19 care professionals in June as the Ministry of Health and Social Development continues to advance its efforts to enhance quality care across the territory. Minister for Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, Honorable Shari De Castro, announced that there was an establishment of a steering group on student well-being and the creation of a multi-agency task force on support and intervention, two critical mechanisms to address the troubling student misconduct data in schools across the territory. 11 inmates at His Majesty's Prison received certificates of completion for participating in a 6-week course designed to equip them with essential life skills for successful reintegration into society. A significant step was taken towards strengthening the Virgin Islands' national security infrastructure with the signing of a contract for the design and construction management of the Immigration Detention Center. Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE, led a 3-member delegation to the Cayman Islands on a fact-finding mission in June to explore the development and implementation of business-enabling ecosystems.
The government of the Virgin Islands announced that effective July 1st, the new minimum wage in the territory will be $7.25 per hour. The wage adjustment forms part of the government's broader strategy to alleviate the financial pressures faced by residents due to rising living costs. Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Kai Reimer, said Cabinet agreed and 6 key action items that will equate the effective and expedited solutions to the water infrastructure in the territory. They include prioritized funding and resources, coordinated government action, improved services reliability, enhanced water quality, community engagement and capacity building, and transparency and accountability. The Ministry of Financial Services, Economic Development, and Digital Transformation launched a nationwide outreach campaign under the Registration Apprenticeship Training, Employment, and Development Program, RATED. A contract was signed with E&K Construction for a new social home in Bagos Bay for Mr. Marvin Malone as the Ministry of Health and Social Development delivers on its commitment to support vulnerable residents across the Virgin Islands. The Department of Trade, Investment Promotion and Consumer Affairs officially launched its Igniting BVI's Economic Future Outreach Program with its first community engagement in the 5th District.
The National Security Council, or NSC, officially launched the Virgin Islands Anti-Crime Summit with a youth rally in August. The territory's youth groups, and organizations were invited to join with the rally, which paved the way for the hosting of the Virgin Islands Anti-Crime Summit in September under the theme, Our Virgin Islands, Safe Communities, Prosperous Territory. Virgin Islanders Clarice Scatliff and Daria Malone were celebrated for their historic achievements after capturing the 2025 European Women's Baseball Championship title in the Czech Republic. The athletes represented Team Great Britain in the championships. Scatliff was named Best Pitcher, while Malone earned the Most Valuable Player, or MVP, a first for Virgin Islands athletes on the European stage. Also in August, Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Kai M. Reimer, announced that the Cabinet of the Virgin Islands approved zero customs duty for renewable energy and energy-efficient products beginning September 1. The government of the Virgin Islands officially brought the Public Assistance Amendment Act 2024 into force, strengthening the legal framework for delivering social support to the most vulnerable. The Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports officially opened the 2025-2026 academic year, announcing a record $67.4 million education budget with an additional $1.8 million from a SAP and a bold vision for future-focused, student-led transformation.
The derelict vehicle disposal fee implemented by the Ministry of Health and Social Development took effect September 1st and is being collected in accordance with the Derelict Vehicles Disposal Act 2000. Motorists will pay the one-time fee at the Department of Motor Vehicles as part of the vehicle licensing process. The fee varies according to the weight of the vehicles. The Department of Immigration announced the launch of a new online application for obtaining residence and belonger status in the Virgin Islands. The user-friendly portal aims to streamline the application process, making it easier and more efficient for individuals to apply for status. The Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports secured outstanding performance of the Virgin Islands student in the 2025 Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC examinations. 13 public schools were certified smart schools, and pharmacies across the Virgin Islands were recognized for their invaluable role in protecting public health, ensuring safe access to medicine, and improving patients' care.
The government of the Virgin Islands, through the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, officially opened the newly built Estlin Henley Richer Learning Center. The British Virgin Islands Airport Authority, or BVIAA, is now a governing member of the Airports Council International, Latin America and the Caribbean, or ACI-LAC. The territory of the Virgin Islands commemorated 75 years since the restoration of its legislature, marking a significant milestone. Premier Honorable Wheatley led a local delegation to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands of the United States to participate in the 51st USVI-BVI Friendship Day activities. The Premier's office successfully hosted a meeting bringing together farmers, fishers, and key stakeholders to develop a shared vision for the future growth and sustainability of the industry.
Educators in the Virgin Islands completed an intensive week of training, and the new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum, an initiative set to transform teaching and learning across the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean State, OECS. Following months of analysis and stakeholder engagement, the Cabinet approved the outlined business case for the extension of the TB Letsam International Airport. The decision endorses a 7,000-foot runway extension identified as the most viable solution for meeting the territory's aviation and economic needs. Premier Wheatley celebrated a successful opening of the annual BVI Charter Yacht Show, CYS, highlighting its record-breaking attendance and participation as a strong indicator of a vibrant and robust charter season ahead for the territory.
Junior Minister for Culture and Tourism, Honorable Luce Hodge-Smith, was honored as a regional leader who continues to shape, elevate, and redefine the Caribbean story. The prestigious award was presented in Miami, Florida by the Caribbean Media Exchange, Inc., a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting sustainable tourism in the Caribbean. The Social Development Department recognized foster parents across the Virgin Islands for their commitment to supporting vulnerable children during an educational session hosted by the Children and Family Support Services Unit. The Premier's office, through the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries, took steps to develop a sustainable white potato production program.
The government of the Virgin Islands concluded a landmark year with the implementation of several initiatives, including the engagement of India's financial services market. This included reinforcing the jurisdiction's efforts to broaden its international reach and deepen ties with high-growth economies. We have come to the end of the 2025 Year in Review, a production of the Department of Information and Public Relations. Thank you for viewing.
Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook at BVI Government or on WhatsApp at Government of the Virgin Islands. I'm Paul Bridgewater.
And I am Berta McKelly Adams.
And we want to wish everyone a productive 2026.